I've also heard fears expressed that, we can have the abuse of the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. Is this a concern for you?
Well, you know, this issue about tomato concentrate coming from ECOWAS is all a false story. There is no any country in West Africa that produces tomato concentrate from farm, in the local farm sense. Only Senegal produce just less than 20% of their demand. And they import the difference by the same companies that are producing the concentrate locally. And Senegal could not increase more land because they don't have as much arable land as we do have. We don't have a lot of dams and water banks that we do have in Nigeria. So Nigeria is blessed. We're sitting on a gold mine which we are yet to tap. And we have told the ministry, if they know of any other African country under ECOWAS that produces concentrate, let us go there. We challenge them to show us the factory or the farm where they are. There is no any African country we have not visited within ECOWAS to know what their status of the tomato. Nobody, all of them are importing from China, in Europe, US, and repacking it in ECOWAS and then sending it to Nigeria as in the disguise of ECOWAS. Some of them, they even bring in drums and relabel it in ECOWAS. So it's all the fake declaration. And we are around now. We will sponsor government, private sector, organized sector to go and visit all of the countries that they claim that they have a local production. So obviously, issue about ECOWAS does not exist. ECOWAS is not producing any concentrate. Nigeria will be the biggest, or still, even now, Nigeria is the biggest producer of concentrate with our factory of 1,200. The one in Senegal, there are only less than 500 or about 500 tons that they have per day. So we're already to start off with that even bigger than the Senegal. And Senegal, for your information, that we went there, they have even asked us whether if we have excess, they would rather want to buy from us than importing from other countries, which we have told them, give us 2 more years, we'll be able to export into Senegal.
The CBN Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme has had an impact on the sector, obviously. But what improvements need to be made to it?
I think CBN has done very well, really. I think has pushed so much into to incentivize, to stimulate the agricultural sector. Agriculture needs a spatial understanding and focus. And you need to be able to do it on the total value chain, which I believe with the drive from central bank and with this new policy of this government to recapitalize Bank of Agriculture and pay more attention with Bank of Industry, I believe these 2 banks, Bank of Agriculture, Bank of Industry, support of central bank, can turn around the total funding for agriculture. Although what they have done so far has been good, the level of improvement needs to be looked at in terms of looking at the other side of the value chain.
Crops still account for about 70% of agricultural activities, while livestock, poultry, fisheries, forestry, and other segments comprise the balance. Where do you see the greatest room for improvement?
I think it's all across. It's not a single one that we have achieved or attained the potential that Nigeria has in all the segments. I believe today, with even the capitalization of Bank of Agri, we're talking about $500 billion or $1 trillion, it's just the beginning, really. Look at Nigeria, we're almost 200 million, and we cannot feed ourselves with any kind of, all of these ones that you have mentioned, none of them were self-sufficient. The ones that were not important, like vegetable and so, the price are extremely very high. Should not be up to the half the value if you compare to some other countries. So in all of this level, we need huge investment and huge improvement. But in all of this segmentation, what we need is a structured approach and strategic approach, which I believe if government sets its mind and focus on it, working with Bank of Agriculture, working with the Bank of Industry, even with the commercial bank, they can be left to work in the industrial sector where they feel more comfortable. And there may be inputs of fertilizers where they are comfortable with. While the primary production can be with the Bank of Agriculture, the meat processing and so on can be with the Bank of Industry. If they put hands together, I believe within a year we will see tremendous change in the total value of agriculture, value chain in agriculture. Look at our water reservoirs or dams. Look at the arable land we have that are untapped, untouched. Even not moving into that sector. Look at the current land under cultivation. We can get 3 or 4 times yield out of these farms that we have just by using irrigation scheme with the dams that we have. Over 200 dams are in Nigeria. Not 5% of them are put to good irrigation use under irrigation. Now, if you use improved seed, I'm not talking about GMO, but you use improved seedling in all across these crops, none of them will not give you 3 to 4 times the fold of yield per hectare. I just give you a tomato. Just the same way these farmers are using, just with the improved best practices and good seedling, high yield seedling, they are getting 45 to 50 tons per hectare, as against 10 to 12 tons per hectare. So you can see the quantum jump. That's why I told you that with tomato, in another year or two, we'll see it much cheaper than we've never seen it everywhere in this country, because there will be almost 2 million tons more in production. Provided we go with the project that we are on, the central bank, pushing out growers and ensuring uptake from ourselves and other processors, we will see that much in the market. So if you go to the grains, you go to the fruits or vegetables, every one of them needs some kind of focus on. We will definitely get it this. And we talk about malnutrition and so on. It's because our other vegetable fruits and so on are too expensive. It becomes as a luxury item. But by the time we inject focus and funding into them, the production will be cheaper. Average person can afford to have them on the daily diet. And that's the essence. So there's so much that we need to do, and it doesn't take any science. It just needs focus, policy, and government consistency on their policy, and you turn around things. A lot of Nigerians now, with simple devaluation of Naira, have started paying attention to agriculture, and we are seeing the yield. A lot of people who had no business in agriculture now are jumping into it, and some of them are making good money, good reasonable money out of it. They realize that they are better out here than going out and looking for contracts and jumping between one job and another job. If government can sustain this drive, can keep incentivizing this area, you will see within a year the turnaround in this complete agri-value chain.
Haji Sani Dangote, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And we thank you for watching. Please join us next time when the program returns. But between now and then, let's continue the conversation online at channelstv.com. Do follow me on Twitter at ModelSY and tweet me your thoughts on today's program. Thank you again for watching, and see you next time.